Max is the first character we meet in the movie. She was in her vehicle, seated. Her father, an actor, was her parent. In a scary thriller, she worked. The film seems authentic because of how well she performed. After that, we observe Max's mother entering the vehicle and sitting down. Their relationships were strong. As a group, they begin to chant. The vehicle is started by her. During this time, their vehicle and another car collided as they were moving. Their vehicle then suffers a serious accident. That incident results in Max's mother's death. 3 years have now gone, as we can then see. Max had already emerged from it. She was sitting in the cafe with her friends. A female and a male friend named Chris were talking to each other. Meanwhile, the brother of her female friend comes there. He shows them some books. There was a poster in them in which there was something about the horror movie. The name of that movie was Bloodbath. He tells that it was an old and horror movie. It is planning that it will again be shown in the cinemas. He says that we also like to watch horror movies. We like horror movies. So why don't we go to watch this movie? Because I have heard about that movie is so good. We know that is the same movie in which Max's mother had acted. At first, Max refuses that what will we do to see the movie. But in the end, they all make her agree. Then they go to watch the movie. Max, Chris, her female friend, her brother and an old friend of Max go to watch a movie. Now we see that the movie starts and the cinema hall was full of peoples. It means everyone was excited to see that movie. Then the movie starts and they all were busy watching the movie. They were enjoying that movie. Meanwhile, a man who was drinking his alcohol bottle falls down. Alcohol comes out when the bottle rolls. That alcohol spreads on the floor. With it, it spreads to a curtain. Because everyone was busy in the movie, so nobody notices it. A man was smoking there. When his cigarette falls on that place sets on fire. While seeing the whole cinema hall sets on fire, Max gets worried. But then she sees a big knife. She couldn't see any way of going outside. She uses that knife to cut the projector screen. Goes inside the screen on which the movie was playing to protect her life and the life of her friend. But once inside the screen, they all start to feel weak. They discover themselves in a forest when they're vacant. Around them, there were numerous trees. Where they were unable to comprehend that. They move back and forth. Meanwhile, a car comes there in which there were a female and a male sitting. They get surprised to see that these are the characters of the Bloodbath movie. They weren't believing their eyes. But it happens with them 2 times more. That car comes there with the same characters 2 times more. They understand that they are in old age. They are stuck here. Maybe they are stuck in the movie till its duration. They accept this reality. They think that what should we do now? They go and sit in the car of those characters. When Max turns back and see, her mother was also sitting in that car. Seeing it, her eyes become full of tears. Because she loves her mother very much. After her death, she was seeing her now like this. Then the characters of the movie come into a house. Because they were planning a party. They also invite Max while saying her to come to a party with her friends. Here the good thing is that they all had seen that movie before. They know its story. They know that what will happen next. That's why the whole story becomes easy for them. They also know that there is a killer in this movie who kills peoples. The people who were together or the people gathered at a party. He kills people at a gathering place. They move forward in the forest. Then they see a couple who were together. Meanwhile, that killer also arrives there. He kills them. They believe it might be a fake. Since it's a motion picture, they were simple enough for the killer to avoid hurting us. Since we weren't mentioned in the script. Additionally relaxed about it was Max's female friend's brother. But as he advances, the murderer kills him with a large knife. Their supposition was disproven, that the murderer was unable to harm them. There were now only 4 individuals left. Means Chris, Max, and her 2 female friends were left. They return towards that house while running. Max makes her female friend understand that we will not be lost each other and we will not be gathered at a place. They all go separately, goes to each character of the movie. Then we see that a lady comes there in a black dress. That was the lady who was saved in the Bloodbath movie in the end. Means she was the survivor of that movie. They start talking about that killer. Then we see that Max and her other friends are gone in the past. They were shown a scene of the past. In that scene, they were shown the childhood memories of that killer. Some students of school came to a summer camp. Other kids were abusing that killer kid. Billy hides at a small place. Those kids throw fireworks there. Due to it, he becomes injured and his face was ruined completely. Then he makes a face mask for himself to hide his old face. Then he goes out to take revenge. After taking a big knife, he goes to kill everyone. When they kill everyone, some blood drops fall on the face of Max's female friend. With it, their past vision finishes here. They come to the movie scene. Blood drops were still there on Max's female friend. After seeing those blood drops, they get scared that from where the blood comes on her face. They start running. The two characters we saw at the start of the movie move from there with their car. But suddenly that boy falls out of the car. He bends badly and he dies. Their car also blasts. That lady which came in a black dress and was the survivor of this movie also dies in this accident. This means the happenings are not included in the real story of that movie. This means if Max and her friends have seen this movie, so it is useless because the movie wasn't according to the story. Max tells the characters that we are here from the future. What is the truth in it? How we come into this movie? Then they understand them because it was seen from their dressing that they come from the future. They think that what to do now. Then Chris makes them understand something on a board. He draws something on the board and after it, he explains his plan to others. He says that we will put traps in the house everywhere and we will play party music unwillingly so that killer will think that we are gathered at a place. As he comes here, he will be stuck in the trap. We will catch him and then he will die. This is the only way to go out of this movie. Then they get busy putting traps in the house. During this, Max goes to her mother who was young now. She wasn't married at this time. She tells her everything that I am your daughter. She says that if this killer will die, I will take you with me. Then we see that there were traps in the house everywhere. Now the party music was played. One of the characters of the movie, a girl, was said to do the dance so that the killer will come here after listening to the voice. It happens the same. As the music played, that killer moves toward them. Seeing it, that character who was dancing gets scared. Her foot stuck in that trap. Due to it, she falls down. Her face was stuck in an iron trap, due to which she dies there. Then they shut the door. There was a sword behind the door. They have tied a big wood there to make a trap. It was tied with the ropes. They go upward and cut that rope. Due to it, a big piece of wood falls down and Bill hits with that sword. That sword stabs in that killer's body. They were happy that they succeed. They have killed the killer. But it wasn't like that. He becomes alive and kills one more character in the movie. Max and Chris get one more idea. They take some arrows and set them on fire. They shoot those arrows on that killer. After it, they all go upward. They also have set traps on the way. A bucket is full of petrol. It will happen that when that petrol will be thrown on that killer, he will catch fire. But this trap was left. The bucket was stuck there. Due to it, the petrol couldn't fall on the killer. He comes to them. They were both female friends of Max. They somehow try to throw petrol on him. This time they become successful. But due to the fire in the whole room, they themselves burn. Now only Max, Chris, and Max's mother were left in the movie. Then we see that killer becoming alive again. The fire doesn't harm him. He lifts up and follows them. They begin to run in the forest. That killer attacks Chris and makes him injured. After it, he takes Max's mother with him from there. Max takes Chris to a church while lifting him up. She asks him to stay there and take care of himself because you are injured. I will come with my mother. She picks a sharp-edged tool from there and chases that killer. To find him, Max goes to the forest. She sees that her mother is imprisoned in a house. She releases her mother, but that killer also arrives there and beats her a lot. Max's mother somehow kills that killer. Then she comes into the church while taking Max with her. Max's mother wants to sacrifice for Max. That's why she comes in front of that killer. She wanted to save Max's life at the end of this movie because she is a pretty and a pure girl. She wants to kill the killer forever. Then we see the scene of the church where Chris' much blood was wasted and he dies. On the other side, the killer kills Max's mother. Then Max goes to kill the killer. She hits him with a sword. She separates his head from his body. With it, this Bloodbath movie ends. Luckily, all her friends of Max become alive. They come out from the movie but they get faint. When they come to their senses, they were all in the hospital. Their bodies are visible. Their bodies had injuries that were depicted in the film. This demonstrates that it wasn't a dream or a work of fiction, but that was the truth. They experience it in real life. They both have the same wounds that caused them to pass away in the film. And this is where the mystery ends, as does the film. I appreciate your attention.